Welcome to Seattle Maritime Works. I'm Ken Sanderson with the Seattle Propeller Club, and with me today is Kesa Sten, who is the president of ILWU Local 52. Thanks for joining us today, Kesa.
Thank you for having me, Ken.
Hey, Kesa, let's start off by having you tell us a little bit about ILWU and what you do there.
Perfect. Like you said, I'm president of ILWU Local 52, the Supercargo, Supervisors, and Marine Checkers Local here in Seattle, Washington. The ILWU, International Longshore and Warehouse Union, was born from the 1934 strike of loosely affiliated ILA locals up and down the West Coast. And simply, they had a bunch of really radical demands for their employers. One being a coastwise contract, two being 6-hour workdays and better working conditions, and probably the holy grail of what we still consider the most honored and biggest point of pride for ILWU is a union-controlled hiring hall, where it did away with the shape-up, favoritism, and discrimination in hiring all along the docks of the West Coast. The ILWU has been bottom-up, democratically led union for close to 90 years now, and we pride ourselves on that. We have baked into our contract our monthly union meeting nights where we do not work those nights, and there's only a few days out of the year where we do no work whatsoever. So marine cargo moves 24/7, 365 days a year, except for a few shifts, and our union meeting nights are one of them.
Kesa, I think most people have heard about ILWU, but talk a little bit more about Local 52. What kind of work do your members do, and where do you do their work?
Okay, Local 52 is the Supercargo, Supervisors, and Marine Checkers local of the ILWU. We're based out of Seattle, Washington, but we do cover all supercargo work from Anacortes up north all the way down to Vancouver, Washington, and all the way over to Port Angeles. We mainly work in the Port of Seattle, and we handle the flow of cargo to and from the ships, to and from the rail, in and out of our gates, our terminal gates.
When you say you handle the flow of cargo, what does that entail?
Usually, most of the time nowadays, we use computers to plan the stowage of cargo on our terminals and docks. When you're the supercargo, you're overseeing the entire operation of the ship, planning. We call it a letter, which is your plan for the day of what container bays you are going to load and unload from the ship, and you monitor that and take hourly counts and make sure that all the gangs on a ship are working smoothly together to load and offload the cargo.
The local provides an incredible amount of support for its members. Talk a little bit about that support.
I think some of the underrated support would be that we do have a union meeting once a month where members can come together democratically to decide the course that we are going to pay forward for our members and our local. And that some of the other things that we provide, we have a full-time business agent that goes and meets you on the job if any on-the-job disputes arise between you and the employers, or you and another worker or somebody else that is on the docks. And we also have a labor relations committee that handles any contract disputes with the employers, and they are actively fighting those all the time and bringing awareness to those issues.
So if I was interested in getting involved on the career path, become a longshoreman, talk a little bit about that career path and why it's a great career choice.
Longshore is a great career choice. It is a long career choice. We changed almost 15-20 years ago how we process incoming longshore workers. We now do a port specific, we call it the lottery. So you you enter the lottery, and if your name is drawn, you go through a series of orientations and trainings to become what we call an unidentified casual here in the Port of Seattle. Other ports call them separate things or have different degrees of casuals. And then you work your way up, and your promotions are hours based. So the more you work, the more shifts you work, the higher up you are on the list. And then when the time comes to elevate people into the next category, it's based off of your hours. So then you go from un-ID casual to casual, and then you get B registered, which is a limited status in our union, but you get all of your benefits when you become a B registered longshore worker. And then after 5 years, you get elevated to A status, and that's at Local 19 in Seattle, actually. The Local 52 Marine clerks and Local 98 foremen do not have their own casual pools. So after you get A elevated, you spend 5 years on the A side there, and then you are eligible to transfer either over to the Local 52 Marine clerks or the Local 98 foreman.
So, Kesa, I love your passion for the industry. Why are you excited about the future of the maritime industry?
I'm excited because I see it becoming more collaborative. The people we're talking to down in Olympia and our different maritime partners are all realizing that success comes from working together instead of not talking. So the conversations I've been having with our maritime partners are exciting, and what we're trying to do here in Seattle and bring work back and make the maritime industry as a whole better is invigorating. I also love the amount of women I'm seeing, the amount of minority groups that I'm seeing getting involved in the maritime industry, because those groups are who need to have the recognition and the availability of these great maritime jobs, because maritime jobs are great. They are great for supporting your families and great for creating generational wealth and opportunities.
Hey, thanks for joining us today, Kesa.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Ken.